Dr. Jazz.
Hey guys,
Dr.
Samo here.
Jazz.
Thanks for checking out the channel and its contents. And if you feel like it, please do subscribe. Thanks so much. Enjoy the video. Bye. And I love the background. What is that? These paintings. Woo.
Oh, yeah. I did a piece. There's a good friend of mine. He's a great artist. His name is Tain Watts, and he does this thing,
Beautiful.
this visual sound thing. So it's basically a gig. You go in there, there's tarps everywhere, and he had these three big kind of things set up. And so we just improvise, and that's what came from it.
Oh man, I love it. Woo. Okay, would love these actually in my room as well. So, beautiful. Where's the gig? I need that gig.
Yeah. He's living in Tokyo now,
Oh no,
but he comes to the States like 2 or 3 times a year. And sets up.
beautiful. Fantastic, man. But thanks for finding the time. First of all, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Have you on so many
I know
records. So
going back and forth for a minute, so it's like, yeah, it's good to be
yeah,
here.
well, it's cool. Yeah, I mean, I've done this talk with so many guys you play with. So, and I have so many records of you. We've been on Clean Feed the same time. So Pedro gave me all your records and bought
Okay.
half of them as well. And so it's like, uh, I just wanted to start this talk. I've been listening to Slipknot's the record, the last one actually that I have by you today. And have you been preparing something new as a band leader? I mean, I love that album, Baby Ramfro, that was on the play repeat all the time. I love that groove, man. Like, what's happening on the band leading department?
The band leading department, it kind of got there was kind of a series of events that happened, and I just kind of took a little hiatus from it. But I've been writing quite a bit, and so I'm looking forward to there's a couple projects that are in the works. So just probably this coming year will be at least 2 releases. So
Okay, fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah, I need another Eric Revis record, man. No, I'm kidding, man. Yeah, I love those records. Just the grooves, man. The grooves are incredible there. Like always, you have, and lots of odd meters. The melodies are so cool, like the horns, and so yeah, looking forward.
Oh, well, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Sometimes it's like you kind of have to take a step back, and it wasn't anything specific, but it was just kind of like reassessing. And my process is kind of like, I amass all of these things, and then when the cup gets a little bit too full, you contextualize them, the tunes that are already completed there, but then and I'm back in that space. It's like it
Hmm,
took a minute, but yeah.
that's cool. How do you decide which direction to go as a band leader? I mean, is it just like all impulse, or like, because the bands vary, like sometimes Chris is on piano, Chris Davis, or sometimes it's just horns, it's a different lineup, or like then you worked with Ken Vandermark. Like
Right.
how did the stories with you as a band leader happen?
Yeah, I mean, like my very first record was, kind of um an amalgam of all the people that I know. So, like Tain was
The
on there,
Stuttering Mind, right? That one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah.
Um, and all these people that I'd been playing with in various contexts. And it was a bunch of like just songs that I had written up until that time. Gradually I started kind of like streamlining it. I really wanted to work with me and Chris. Well, we did um, the trio record with Andrew Cyril, and so she was part of it. Then I did a quartet record with Nasheet and
Yeah.
Jason Moran and Ken. So by the time we got to like Sing Me Some Cry, it was kind of a combination of all those. Like, okay, well, I know how these voices work in this context. How would it work if I mixed all of it up? So yeah, various things for. I usually hear like where it's going. Like when we did the quartet with Bill McHenry and
Hmm.
Darius,
I
although they
love it.
have
Yeah.
like some similarities, they're very. I imagined, and it worked out that way, that, you know, they would kind of offset each other. It's like two sides to a coin. And to hear that was one of the concepts I had for the record, you know.
What's your story with those guys, actually, with Darius and Bill? I mean, I know Bill lives in Barcelona, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I've
Darius
known
is still
Bill
in the
for
States, right?
years, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I know Bill. It's funny, man. I was a fan of Bill's. Like, he had a record out called Roses.
Oh,
It was with you know, I think Paul Motion,
Paul
Reed
Motion. Yeah,
Anderson.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it was Ben Monder. And man, a bunch of us were like big fan of that record. It was like, man, this shit is killing, you know. And so by chance, even though we had both been in New York, I think I got to New York in like 91, 92, and Bill had been there a couple years, maybe 2 or 3 years before me. So, you know, would see him out and about various gigs, but we finally met at I forgot who's at, maybe I think I was playing with Tain at the Vanguard, and he came out. I was like, man, I'm a big fan of your record. And we struck up a friendship that's been very, very tight since then. You know, it's like we kind of bonded musically and personally. So Bill is a dear friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's with Chad Taylor. Chad was also around. I think he was in the New School when I first got to New York. But we played. I would see him at gigs, you know, like a lot of the Lower East Side gigs, knitting factories, stuff like that. And then we got together through Avram Pfeffer.
Yeah, sure.
Our first, and then, you know, so we bonded. Darius, man, I'm not sure. I mean, I knew of Darius, you know, and yeah, we met, and it was,
He's been around, yeah.
you know, it's like anything else.
Yeah,
man.
it's yeah, I know. These things happen. It's just like one thing leads to another, and yeah, I love
Exactly.
that. You mentioned 91 and moving to New York. You're from the West Coast, right?
Originally from the West Coast. I was born on the West Coast. Then my family kind of moved. I grew up in Fresno,
Ah,
and
okay.
moved back to Los Angeles like my junior year in high school. And then I ended up graduating high school. I moved to Texas to
Well,
live with my grandparents. And so I was in and out of Texas for a while. From Texas, went to a few colleges, you know, just doing that, and then, you know, started really kind of getting serious about the music. Then I went to New Orleans and lived in New Orleans a couple years,
oh, really? Okay.
studying with
Cool.
at the University of New Orleans with Ellis, and then from there went up to New York.
Yeah.
So it was kind of and then kind of made my way back, like a circuitous route. It just went up and, you know, came back. So
Interesting. How was this move to New York like for you? I mean, you know, 91, that was like all the greats are still alive. The downtown scene is thriving. How was that like for you moving to New York and the first connections you made? I mean, and
it was interesting, you know. When I got there, there was a bunch of people that had been in New Orleans that had moved up. There was kind of like a mass exodus. So
mm,
there was a house that a bunch of musicians lived. This great vocalist Roderick Muhammad came. Brian Blade was living there for a while. Chris Thomas was living there.
mm,
Xavier Davis lived. Pevin Everett. It was like, so we had this house available to this big brownstone in Brooklyn. So I went up there. How was it, man? It was terrifying. You know, it's like I'm like, I had no. I mean, little things from dealing with the first winter was brutal. I mean, I've been to Texas, California, Louisiana. I get up to New York, man, that shit was brutal. But you know, I mean, the idea of going up there was, well, I went up there. I had been playing with Peter Martin in New Orleans,
sure.
and Peter had been in Betty Carter's band for a little bit, and he had a trio with Blade and Chris Thomas, and I was kind of doing the fill-in work at that point. But he told me about Betty Carter's Jazz Ahead program. So I sent a tape from one of the gigs I did with Peter and Troy Davis at Snug Harbor and got accepted. So I went up to New York a little bit early, you know, just waiting for the program. And That's how that kind of um, that facilitated that. But I mean, the whole idea of being New York was to be around the music more so than anything else. I mean, you know, nobody went up there to get a gig. It was like, I want to get close to this. If I get my shit together, a gig will be the byproduct of that, you know.
Yeah.
So it was, but it was exciting, man. It was like, you know, thousands of musicians, and all these places to play every night. There was a, you know, whereas you live other places like, oh, this person is coming to town, this person is coming to town.
Yeah.
You get to New York and it's like, where the fuck do I go, man? It's like eight
remember
things
that
I
as well,
want to
yeah.
see, and you try to go to all of them, you know, and it's like, and if you're on the scene for a while, you get to know people, and so then it becomes you know, it facilitates you going to more places and, you know, stopping in here. So that was
Yeah.
it was really good.
Yeah. How was Batty like to you? I mean, did you play a long time with her?
Played like 2.5 years. It was,
Wow, that's long.
yeah, 2.5, almost 3.
She was always famous for having younger guys in her band, and you know, kind of everyone who played in her band became like so important, I think, especially rhythm sections, bassists and drummers. Like, what was your experience playing with her, and how was she?
It was incredible. I mean, every day, you know, I think of it, and I mean, she really like laid the groundwork. There were several things that happened, you know, leading up to that. Like living in New Orleans also laid the groundwork for a lot of things, you know, that really helped me get my sound together.
Yeah.
Because it was you know, a situation where, especially during that time, you know, the whole amp pickup thing was kind of frowned upon. But, you know, just as a matter of practicality, you know, once you start working in New Orleans a little bit, man, you may have like 5 gigs in a day. You don't have the time to take around an amp and plug in or find shit. You may be on the street corner playing, so hey, let's go out and play, you know, here for a little bit. We're going to do 2 hours here, then I'm gonna go to this coffee shop. So that helped in terms of my sound and certain thing. When I got with Betty, it was just like a whole other level, you know, in terms of she was very, very like meticulous and discerning, you know,
Interesting.
and very hard, you know. She tells you, you know, like when you get out of here, you'll be a better musician and you may be a better person. And you know, sometimes those lessons were hard. I mean, she was notorious for being hard, but to me, it was like, you know, it was like my grandmother or something. I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, it's like, you're gonna have to fire me. You know, it's like, I'm not, you know, yeah, the thin skin thing didn't work, but she was
In what sense was she hard? I mean,
she I think that, you know, she was a kind of like a master psychologist in a way. She knew everybody was young in the band. So yeah, I mean, you're dealing, musicians in general deal with like, you know, a shit ton of insecurities, right? And you're trying to get this thing together, and she knew exactly what to do. And it's just like, oh, but you know, along those lines, she would give you, you know, just these pearls of wisdom. You know, it'd be like, yeah, I hear you practicing all this stuff. You're never gonna sound like Paul Chambers, blah blah blah. So, but then she would be like, but keep doing it. And she goes, but what I want you to do also is I want you to spend time every day practicing yourself.
Yeah.
It was and she was always like, this is a job, you know, you have to. Yeah, she was very, I mean, little things, man. I remember one time, well, during that time, you know, I had played, my right hand was basically primarily like a 1-finger thing. It was, for, you know, people know, it's like almost like a Paul Chambers thing. So it was like this, you know. So I started developing, you know, my independence, you know, like alternate fingering. And so I'm trying to I'm really working on that. And we were doing something, and I thought it was cool. And she turned around and she was like, what are you doing playing a ballad with 2 fingers? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like, she said, no. You always play a ballad with 1 finger because it provides the evenness. I need this from it.
Wow.
It was stuff like that. She wasn't even looking at it.
Wow.
And I thought the shit sounded even, but it's like, no, you know, she would do things like that. and I mean, the fast tempos. When I got out of her band, it was like, fast. I mean, blaringly fast, and so slow. It was, and it really. So you're out there, you're young, you're playing for more people than you've ever played before. You have somewhat of a high profile gig, and you're just exposed. Her tempo thing was like, she would count it off, and whenever she raised her hand, that was two. Man, that shit
Wow,
took forever. She'd
man.
be like, "Ooh, go to my head,"
Fuck, that's so heavy, man.
and you
That's
you
so
had
heavy.
to, it's like, fortunately, me and the drummer at the Will Terrell, who was, like, man, he was just so on it, and man, we would shed that shit. We would shed tempos constantly, keep it, just right there, so
That's so
yeah.
heavy. That's so heavy to play so slow. That's like,
Oh man, you literally could play, put down the bass, go grab a drink and come back like two. You just-
damn. Yeah, shit. No, she was amazing. Yeah, I mean, I love her. Like Feed the Fire and those records. Like it's
oh
like
yeah, yeah.
burning. Yeah,
She was
interesting.
yeah, those records, it was the audience, whatever happened to love, dropping things was like,
Oh
because
yeah,
that's
dropping things. Yeah. Oh man.
that's with Taurus and
Yeah.
Carey is like, and Greg and Hutch, man,
Uh,
that was our Bible for a while. So
yeah, those players, man. Yeah. Like, did you then through Betty meet like you mentioned Tain before, Tain and Branford, and like how did this? I mean, because obviously playing with Betty means visibility, like you said, and
yeah, there was visibility. I mean, when I got out of Betty's band, it was kind of like a double-edged sword, because although we were playing Betty's book, but she had all these alterations in the book. So I mean, knowing a tune wasn't really knowing the tune. You knew that version of it. So I was I at Smalls all the time. So and there was a group of us that came up together. It was like myself, JD Allen,
yeah,
um, Russell Gunn, James Hurt, Sherman Irby, Dana Murray. Like, it's a bunch of us that kind of like coalesced. Um, so I had been playing with Russell Gunn, and Russell had gotten the Buckshot LaFont
oh
gig.
yeah,
So he and Branford just happened to be going through, he was between bass players, and Gunn kept, like, man, you need to hook up my man. You need to hook up my man. This is the story I heard. So Branford had called me in. Oh, no, 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 no. What had happened was Gunn did a record for High Note called Gun Fu.
mm.
And he had Branford come in as a special guest. So I had never met, even though I had studied with his pops, with Ellis,
Oh
I
yeah,
had never met Branford. Coincidentally, there was Branford's ex-wife, Tess, had a big band. They used to play every Monday night at the old Iridium, and it was directed by Frank Foster.
okay,
And it was all of us, all the people that I'm talking about. We all were in it. It was great. You got like, I don't know, like $15 and a meal. That was just like all the
yeah,
shit that they hadn't served from the previous week. They put it in a pot and added a little something to it, and that was great for us. A couple bucks and food.
playing, yeah,
So anyway, Russell had gotten this record deal with High Note, or one of those labels, but he did this record, and that's where I met Branford, and we just kind of hit it off, just on some personal stuff.
yeah,
Then he was finishing up the second Buckshot record. He called me in to do. There was a couple things that he wanted, to fill in. So I did that. Long story longer. He ended up asking me to come on tour with Buckshot, and then Buckshot, happened, and it ran its course, and he
yeah.
decided he was going to put the quartet back together, and he asked me to do it. Totally ill prepared and unready, but I was like, yeah, it was like,
That's still the band with Kenny, right? Kirkland. I mean,
yeah,
one of my
yeah.
favorite pianists ever, man. Like, and Tain. I mean, oof, yeah.
That
How
that
was that first like? Do you remember the first rehearsals or gigs or tour with those guys? I mean, because they were like tight as they can be.
it was like getting thrown into a den of lions. It was like I thought it's like I'm coming from Betty. I've been in New York for a minute. It's like my shit is on. Oh, okay, man. I got with them. I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold on. This is really, really intense on every level. It was,
Mm,
I think the first tour I did with them, we went to Japan, man. I lost about 15 pounds just in sweat alone. It was just coming from every which way on every level. Um, in terms of rehearsals, man, I think Branford had called a rehearsal and nobody showed up except me. The one thing about Branford's band is I don't think we've never had a rehearsal.
oh,
No rehearsals, no sound checks.
really interesting. So it's
Yeah.
just like puff,
It's
and you
like,
play.
that's
Yeah.
there's something to that when we in the studio, you know, people you bring in tunes or whatever,
Yep.
we run them there or get, a basic format. But in terms of like the band ever getting together and rehearsal, no.
Wow.
So that made it even more challenging.
That's even scarier now when you say it, actually. It's like,
Oh, frightening.
no, because you sound so good. I mean, I have some bootlegs. Like a student of mine is like a real, he collects this stuff, and then I always got it, right? And I have
Mm.
tons of the quartet bootlegs, and I'm listening sometimes to that stuff. And it's
Oh
like,
wow.
the records are amazing, and then the live is just like, dude, it's insane what you're doing. It's really like high
It,
level intensity.
it was it's yeah. It was yeah, I'm just grateful to have had the opportunity. Kenny was amazing, you
Yeah,
know.
right. Yeah, I love Kenny Man so much. He's one of the most underrated players ever, I think. It's like
Like
really,
criminally underrated.
yeah, really.
And you don't realize there's this record that because everybody goes through the whole thing. It's like first I started on electric, so
Really? Okay.
electric, and then you kind of get into you go into your fusion thing and all this stuff. So there was a record I had for years, a Hiram Bullock record. I think it's his first solo record, and man, I had listened to the first tune on there. I think it's called like Window Shopping or something. I never realized that was Kenny. Then one time I'm in a store somewhere. This was years ago, and like Sting's second record, they
Oh
were
yeah.
playing, but I caught it in where I couldn't identify the tune, but I heard Kenny. Like he did so much stuff across the board. I mean,
Mm.
I think he's one of the ones that really kind of. I mean, I don't want to say it like with any authority, but like kind of even like the displaced Montuno stuff that he would
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
Man, it's like he for the time that he spent on the earth, he really really made an impact, and people should give him much more credit, and you know
Absolutely.
no, but it's
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I did like 2 episodes on my channel, like about his music, and just to spread the word more, it's like his that record, Kenny Kirkland as a band leader,
uh,
man. Oh, that's like every pianist should listen to that stuff. It's like, yeah, incredible.
he's actually the reason that he kind of lit the composition bug in me, from studying his charts, because a lot of his charts would have his voicings on. He was, you know, sometimes it would be like you can approach it like this and it'd be a chord symbol. It's like a chord symbol, some slash chord or whatever, but he would also put the voicing there.
That's
So
important.
like
Yeah.
this is the sound. It's like you can call it all this stuff, and he was quick with that. I would, so I'm starting to get in right and say, what would you call this? He'd be like, you can call it this, you can call it this, you can call it,
Wow.
like on it. But from studying his charts, that's really got me into a lot of things composing wise.
Because Brantford was also like on contemporary jazz. That's tuned by yours, Ayana, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Brantford was also encouraging you guys to write, also, right? Not he
yeah,
was not like,
yeah.
your music?
I don't know if it's encouraging is the word, but he was always like, "Do you have anything? Let's
Oh
try
yeah,
it."
like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it. So yeah, you I've Branford has never it's never been, oh, don't bring in or anything like that. He's so not like that. So yeah, in he's totally been encouraging. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. How was it like for you when you started to play with Tain? I mean, because you know, I mean, everyone, you know, the '80s records he did with Winton, and I mean, he changed the way of, like in Alvin tradition, but like pumped it up 200 degrees,
Yeah.
like whatever. Like it's insane what he did for the drums. Like, how was it for you when you started to play with him?
Oh, it was well. Once again, like that was kind of a terrifying thing. It was. It was. I used to have this. When I first like getting into the music, I had this dream, uh, and for some reason, I was on the bandstand with Elvin,
Hmm.
and for the life of me, man, I couldn't find one. I was like, man, I was just so no matter what I did, I could. So I was, man, just like and like waking up kind of like in a cold sweat type, just like, oh my god, this thing. I got a chance to play with Elvin early on.
Really? Oh shit,
Um,
man.
I did they called me to do it was like the 10th anniversary of the Blue Note. So I get there and I'm thinking it's just like they're just called people and stuff. So okay, well, who am I playing with? They were like, well, it's Jimmy Heath, Ted Curson, Milt Jackson, Dr. Billy Taylor, and Elvin. Man, all those fears from the dreams, that shit was I was like, oh, just went to the bar. I'm like,
Absolutely.
so man, but we get on stage and it was the exact opposite of that. It was like the most comfortable. It was like, oh man. So the similar thing can be related to Tain because
Mm.
and like you said, Tain was taking all of that stuff and Tain's spatial conception
Yeah.
is just deep. So yeah, it was but also once again, it was much like the Elvin thing, man. It was like, oh no, they're not there to fuck you up. They're there to
Sure.
help. They just have this, they speak a language that's really, really developed. But if you are succinct in the way you communicate, you can fit in there sometimes. Now, granted, there was all kinds of getting lost with Tain. At first, it was like, oh, and then him and Branford have this thing that I think a combination that does not get talked about or credited enough, where they would actually go out of time together in time. It's like having this like ephemeral dialogue up here while it's going on here.
Yeah.
Man, that's
Wow.
I'm like, shit, can we play like fucking Satin Doll or something? It's like, can we damn, it's like no, but it was yeah, just but it became like really um a beautiful thing, because I think
Yep.
I have an affinity for being my playing is like more in the drum sound. So I mean I really this is like a dream come true. Yeah.
Now he must really like you also. I mean, you know, you did that Detained Blue Note and Bartok. I love Bartok. That's Mr.
Yeah.
JJ and Side B and those tracks. It's like, oh, that's such a
Yeah.
brilliant
Yeah.
album,
Yeah.
man. You know, like,
It's
and
my
you
man.
guys are really tied together. I mean, it's
Listen,
so beautiful.
he's my man. He's taught me like so much. I mean, he's another one of those. Him, Branford,
Yeah.
just have been, yeah. I've credit both of those cats. Well, everybody along the way, but yeah, I really
Especially
just
playing so long, right? With Tain and now with Branford even longer. It's almost like 30 years with
yeah,
Branford. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
How do you guys with Branford? I mean, I was quite surprised he did the Belonging album. I was like, wow, really? Like, and you really upgraded it. I mean, this is probably one of the best jazz records ever, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
what was your approach to that music actually? And still, you make it sound really your own. I mean, it that was quite a. It's a task. I think it's a huge task to do that.
It is if you you know if it was a thing where we were trying to recreate the record. I think that Branford has had a his perspective on things. I mean, we got this from doing Love Supreme. It was like, man, you can't touch that record. It's like what. And his contention or his idea is like, look, it's a great piece of music. Would anybody play, Beethoven's Third because it's so like, I mean, and that changed music. It's like it's a great piece of music, and so we should approach it as a great piece of music. It's not trying to like reinvent it.
Yeah,
It's not also trying to recreate it. It's like we have this body of work. Let's see how we can fuck with it. And
absolutely. Yeah,
and so when you come from that perspective, there's not inevitably some of that will creep in, but it's not like, oh, we have to make it better, or man, we have to live up to this or all this. Is like, yo, these are the tunes. They were like, that record principally kind of represents where the band is in a moment,
yeah,
like these strong melodies, being open and yet specific. It was like a body of tunes that, hey, let's do this.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you kind of have to surprise yourself, right? After 30 years together, it's still. Although if you're with those guys on stage, yeah, it stays fresh. Does it stay fresh always? I mean, how do you keep it fresh? I'll put it like that.
Believe it or not, it does, man. It does. It's well, one, I mean, he was able to, I mean, since I've been in the band, for whatever reason, he has, picked members of the band that are constantly working on this stuff, and
Yeah,
he's also provided a platform, or, just through this relationship, it's like you can be working on some stuff and you have, a forum to try it out within, it's like, well, hey, let me approach it like this. And
yeah,
and it's open. So it it's very cool, and I think that it's not dogmatic at all. It's like you try something, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's like, man, what the hell was that? I don't know. I'm trying something. It's all good. So and it's become very very familial.
mm, yeah. So important. Yeah, as a band leader, I mean, I wanted to go back, like you becoming a band leader. You started to write tunes. You said kind of inspired also by Kenny. And around what time did you start leading bands in New York? And how was that like for you, becoming a band leader, presenting your music or getting guys together?
Um. Well, I've always had the idea, like it was never like a specific goal to do that, but I did realize that the only way that you can really actualize your personal concept is through writing,
Yeah, yeah,
and and I was, when I got to New York, man, I was on kind of like a different different scenes. Like I would play with this person, and at that point, New York was really kind of divided. So I could play at Augie's, with all those cats. And then I was playing at the Knitting Factory and nobody knew, and I'd be going checking, William Parker and Charles Gale out at the Cooler.
mm,
So, it's like I had all of these influences, and I've come up, not really with any kind of like the whole musical hierarchy shit. It's like, oh, well, this is the true music and this is better than this.
hmm
No, so it's all valid and beautiful. So the only way that I was going to, like I said, actualize these influences was to write them down and try them out, And so, there's a composition part, and then it's like, well, man, let me get some guys together that I like, and let's do this. Let's see, what comes from it.
mm,
So it's all part of like filling in the entirety, not just being, I mean, we all are striving to be better musicians.
sure.
The instruments that we pick facilitate that, or pick our lane. But at the end of the day, you want to be a good musician,
Yeah,
I think, or and a good artist, or have like build on that. So
Yeah. I mean, you as a composer, how do you come up with stuff? I mean, some tunes, like I mentioned Baby Renfro before, it's kind of like a bass thing. I guess it was written on the bass, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But like, how do you compose usually? What's your process?
it's a, man, it's like you can pick like 3, 4, 5 things. It'd be like all the above.
Yeah.
Some of them are very piano, like sitting at the piano. Some of them are, ideas, melodic ideas on the bass, vamps, or like groove things. It's all of the above. I never sit down to write a tune though. That's
okay, interesting.
Well, I mean, I think that we've been in the stage for about the past 15, 20 years where we hear enough of that. It's just like, okay, all right, I'm gonna write a tune at 7 and it's like, man.
Yeah, we've heard that. Yeah. But still, I mean, you must have, when you compose, like, one thing I love about your music is like, I mean, I had some gigs now with Tim Daisy, the drummer from Chicago, and I don't. We started talking about you as well. I don't know why, but and we were both like, yeah, man, he's the cat, He's like holding the groove. You're opening it up, like you have this really beautiful balance between composed stuff and then opening it up and loosening it up. Like, what's the concepts there? I mean, like when you compose as a band leader and
I have
deciding what to do. Or
I mean, I think that one thing that I've been trying to do is I was reading this. What is it? I think it's called "Begin Again, Being Again." Something. It's a book on John Cage.
Okay.
And just some of the things like his outlook was really, really kind of influential in a way. He would talk about divorcing yourself from your likes. Let me try this. Okay, if you go with your likes compositionally, you end up writing the same 3 fucking tunes.
Yep.
You do.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, it should go here, and it's like, I've been in situations like, yeah. It's like, wait a minute, that sounds like something. Where'd I get that from? It's like, oh yeah, I wrote that shit like 5 years ago. It's so that kind of thing is keep on at the forefront. But getting back to the whole idea of like the non-hierarchical thing, it's like when you hear something, like I'll hear something and it's like, damn, that shit is really swinging. It'll be like some funk stuff, or it'll be like some, like extemporaneous thing. It's like, oh man, that's it. And it's not aping it, but it's like it sparks an idea. It's like, wow, this, and then it kind of comes that way.
Yeah.
If I were to, I can't really. And the other thing is, man, I mean, this shit is so elusive. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have a process. I'm trying to put some definition on it, but I don't know if I can.
No, I mean, you have top level players anyway, so it's like always. I mean, yeah, you don't need to tell any one of those guys what to do. Almost, it's like, yeah, it's good stuff's gonna come out of there. So that's for sure. Yeah. Eric, not to take too much of your time, I wanted to ask you, how did the Kurt Rosenwinkel connection begin? I was in a way quite surprised to see you on those records back then, and also Eric on that first one. Like, how did the story with Kurt begin?
Once again, I mean, we were all in New York at the same time. We used to go check out Kurt. Kurt had I think it was like that it was basically, and I think it's the hardcore band, but it was Mark, Jeff Ballard, and Ben Street.
Ben Street, yeah.
So, and they used to play this what's it called? Couple of Hearts, 3 of Hearts, something. It was right down. It was like on Bleecker Street, and we used to go and check them out all the time.
Oh wow, okay.
Killing, and I would see Curtis Smalls and stuff, and we were like cool and friendly, and then we started playing together. This, it's
yeah.
They were I knew the first tour I did with Kurt, it was a trio with me, him, and Jeff Ballard.
Really? Oh, wow.
Jeff, when I first moved to New York, in Brooklyn, Jorge Rossi's sister had an apartment, and they used to do sessions all the time. So, it could be anybody. So Jeff was there a lot. Sam Newsom, I think, was living at the house, so he would be there. Mark Turner would come. I mean, it was just like this whole. Sometimes it'd be Jimmy Lovelace, and it was all this stuff. So I had known. I think I knew Jeff the longest, and it's just cool, man. I mean, they were just cool. You know, we'd hang and stuff. Everybody, I think that there was a period of time with New York being like divided and everybody having their own kind of cliquish thing, that people were kind of hesitant to like, oh, well, they do that. And you don't even know them. And we were kind of like, oh man, yeah, you're killing it. Oh man, blah, blah, blah. And it just, it was more of well, it was obviously a musical thing, but it was a people thing too.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
Cool people.
In the end, that's the main thing. Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
What's still on the schedule for you for the upcoming months, weeks? Are you coming to Europe? I mean, you mentioned those 2 records coming out. So, I mean, you do you already have them recorded, or you're going to record?
No.
Oh, okay.
I will be doing that probably sometime this winter, in the next few months. No, nothing really. I mean, Branford's been pretty busy, I guess in support of that thing, but we're finishing up. We go out next week. We have a few dates and we're done for the year. So I think that will afford me the time to really get all the stuff. I have the tunes together, but now it's that next part where you like, okay, get this person, I got to get this together,
Beautiful. What about Europe? Are you coming to Europe next year, or any plans?
Not any time in the next. I think in spring. I think that there's some stuff, but no time soon. Looking forward to getting back, but it's like
Man, hope to catch you. Yeah, if you're close to me, just drop me a line. We'll get together for some white wine and food. We live in a white wine region, so it's.
Hey, I love both of those things.
Come and hang.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I'll leave you on us for what afternoon there on your side of the Atlantic. So, and thanks, man, for sharing some of these thoughts and that we finally got it together. So.
Oh man, I'm glad, man. Anytime, to come back and do something. But let's stay in touch.
Yes, definitely. Thanks so much, Eric. I'll send you a link when this is out and we can share it. So.
Great, I will do.